Hello friends, I am Dr. Daljit Kaur and I am here with the help of basic concept of screening. So what is screening and basics of screening? Screening is the active search for the disease among the apparently healthy person. Means they are apparently healthy but they are not having any sign or symptoms. So screening intention is what? To separate from those likely to have disease or at increased risk of disease under the study. So uh, so that we can enable them with the early intervention and the management, so that we can prevent the mortality and morbidity from the suffering from the disease. So mortality is what? From the death, and morbidity from the illness. So there are like iceberg phenomena of the disease. Tip of the iceberg is the clinical disease and submerged portion is a hidden burden of the disease. So from the screening we are trying to identify the submerged portion of the disease that is actually hidden by the physician. So epidemiologist usually done by the screening test to identify those cases. So screening is a test used for the screening purpose for an asymptomatic or apparently healthy people, or in contrast diagnostic test is used in symptomatic cases. So now we are taking the natural history of disease. Natural history of disease, like from the disease onset to the diagnosis or till the sign or symptoms appear, that is preclinical phase, and from the sign symptoms appear, that is clinical phase. And how can we diagnose it? From the even we can diagnose, if we diagnose it early before the sign symptoms appear, we can make the better prognosis. So that is how they are the concept of three type of prevention. One is primary prevention, secondary prevention and tertiary prevention. Primary prevention undercomes the health promotion and specific protection, so that before the onset of disease we can prevent that. And secondary prevention, we can identify early, like via the screening test used we can identify early, so that we can treat early, so that we can make the better prognosis, or the chances of survival we can increase. So if before the symptoms appear, if we diagnose, the potentially improvement by the screening will occur. And if there is clinical phases appear and the disease has now not able to, we can prevent that, now we will be able to get rehabilitation and support, that is your tertiary prevention. Now the concept of lead time. Actually the lead time is the time period between the diagnosis by early detection, that is your earliest point of diagnosis by screening test, and diagnosis by standard diagnostic test. If lead time is the advantage gained by screening. So what can be the question of this thing? If the person is diagnosed in screening time from the first possible time, like if we take the example of cancer, okay, detected through screening, that will be your first possible point. If we diagnose it to the final critical point, the outcome can be improved and changed by early treatment. That only the use of the screening time or lead time. If the person is diagnosed after the screening time, that is after final critical point, the outcome will not change even with the treatment. So that is also important to know. So though the lead time is the advantage gained by the screening, only for the earlier portion of the lead time. So screening time is important for screening test. For example, like if the usual outcome of a disease is death without any intervention, so if person is diagnosed before final critical point in screening time, person may survive or death may be postponed by the treatment. Okay, if the person is diagnosed after final critical point, even if in the lead time, the portion of lead time after the screening time, that is your final critical point, the person will die even with treatment at the same time. So screening is not useful for the diseases which do not have lead time. Okay, so screening time is a portion of lead time, but because there is nothing to be gained by screening, as the disease will be diagnosed at the usual time of diagnosis, so that is how screening is most useful for the diseases which have long lead time. So that is how we take the concept of lead time. There are first possible point and final critical point. First possible point is what? Before that, diagnosis cannot made by any test. Okay, and final critical point, after that treatment will not change the outcome. So that is how it is. Okay, so from the disease onset, these are the 2 points, the time period between these 2 points, from the first possible point to the final critical time, that is your screening time, and all the screening tests are to detect the disease during this period. So that is how. And there are another points, like one is disease onset, like we have taken the example of cancer onset. So that is what disease process just started, now cancer has just started. Now the first possible point, like cancer detected through the screening, okay, from where we can start the diagnosis. Okay, the earliest point, first possible point is what? The earliest point in disease process where a diagnosis can be made. That is, before this point, diagnosis cannot be made by any test. That is your first possible time of diagnosis. And then cancer detected from the symptoms. There is one thing, and this thing is the survival time from the detection to the death. So that is how there is perceived survival time. So final critical point of diagnosis is what? The point after which even diagnosis and treatment will not change the outcome. So usual time of diagnosis, time in disease process when most of the people are diagnosed by usual diagnosis process. That is your concept of lead time. So screening is basically the form of secondary prevention. So we have to identify early in the asymptomatic phase. What is the difference between screening test and diagnostic test? Screening test usually done on apparently healthy individual, and diagnostic, the physician usually ask about the sick or ill individual. Screening applied to the groups, that diagnosis applied to the single patient. The screening applied results are arbitrary and final, and the diagnosis is not final. Screening test based on one criteria and cutoff. We'll be discussing about French, what is cutoff point and all the things, and based on evaluation of number of signs, symptoms and lab findings. So screening test is less accurate, less expensive, not a basis for treatment, and the diagnostic test is more accurate, more expensive, used as a basis for treatment. So screening test is usually initiative comes from the investigator, and in the diagnostic test the patient comes to the doctor. So that is how there is a difference between these two. So example, like fasting blood glucose for diabetes, if we are doing, that is a type of screening test. Blood pressure for hypertension, prostate specific antigen for the prostate cancer, pap smear for cervical cancer, mammography for breast cancer, fecal occult blood for colon cancer. These are the common example of screening tests. Now types of screening. What is mass screening? Mass screening means the screening of a whole population or subgroup. It is offered to all irrespective of their particular risk. Like example, visual defects in school children, mammography in women aged 40 years or less, we are doing newborn screening program in Japan. So that are the example of mass screening. Now high risk screening or selective screening. These are the for the high risk groups, like group has increased risk of developing certain disease. Like it is the most productive screening because the screening is done on concerned group, like high risk group. So there is proper utilization of resources we can do. For example, is screening fetus for Down syndrome in mother who already has a baby with Down syndrome. Okay, so that is high risk. So screening for familial cancer, like hypertension, familial cancer, hypertension and diabetes, like they are the high risk. Screening for carcinoma cervix in low socioeconomic status women, and screening for HIV in a risk group. So that is how these are the high risk screening. Now multiphasic screening. Multiphasic screening is what? The screening of a population for more than one test done in to detect more than one disease, like in combination to a large number of people at one time than to carry out separate screening tests for single disease. It increases the cost of health services. Actually, the example, screening of pregnant women, VDRL, HIV, HBV by serological tests. So this is how multi-purpose screening. Multi-phasic screening, the screening in which various diagnostic procedures are employed during the same screening program, like fasting blood glucose and glucose tolerance test. This is multi-phasic screening. Sickle cell anemia, we are doing multiple tests like CBC, hemoglobin electrophoresis, like this. So next is opportunistic screening or case finding screening. Means there is no accurate or precise diagnostic test for this disease. Okay, actually what is opportunistic screening? The patient has come for the another symptom, now you have diagnosed with another disease. So that is how this is opportunistic screening. The main objective is to detect disease and bring patients to the treatment, like rheumatoid heart disease in children. What is the uses of screening? Okay, so before that I would like to share about criteria for screening. So criteria for screening are based on two consideration basically. First is disease to be screened, second screening test to be applied. If the disease should be an important health problem with a recognizable latent or asymptomatic stage, then only we will be using the screening test. The screening test which can detect the disease prior to clinical stage, and also availability of diagnostic test, then only the use of this thing. There should be an effective treatment so that we can reduce the morbidity and mortality if started early. Screening test to be applied. So there are the terms comes acceptability, reliability and validity, which we will be discussing later on. Uses of screening: the case detection, control of disease, research, education. Case detection, prescriptive screening. People are screened for their own benefit. Like patient has come to you and now you are taking the diagnosis for this thing, cancer, diabetes, hypertension, like this. Control of disease, prospective screening. People are screened for the benefit of others so that they will not transmit the disease to another person. Research, to know the natural history of disease. We will be doing the screening uses, and if we'll be knowing the disease, like in the health education, public awareness, like having less salt, so that we can prevent the hypertension. So health education terms will come into action. So this we have discussed about this disease should have significant burden of disease. It should have detectable and long preclinical stage of disease. Adequately understood natural history of disease should be there. Appropriate test available for early detection of disease. Facilities for diagnosis of disease. Early detection of disease has outcome benefit. Effective treatment available for disease. Policy of screening program for disease, that should be there. So, and screening test should be inexpensive, acceptable, valid, reliable and yielding. Gold standard test, these are the external source of truth regarding the disease status of each individual in the population. Gold standard is a benchmark and its results are considered definitive. Like for the infections, we do culture. For cancers, biopsy is a gold standard. Drug testing in randomized control trial, and to identify the cause of death, the autopsy is a gold standard. What is valid and reliable? So validity is what? This is also called accuracy. So it refers to what extent the test accurately measures, which is purports to measure, like supposed to be measured. So that is how it is accurate. Okay, and reliability is the repeatability. I would say the test must give consistent results when it is repeated more than once on the same individual under same condition. That is, result of test must be precise. So it is the precision of test. How close the results of a test on repetition, that is your precision. Now like in A, if we'll be seeing in the center, this is actually repeatable, like precise, but it is not at the center, so it is not valid. And in the B point, we are seeing about that is at the center, which we need, that is valid, and as well as when we are doing repeatably, it is coming into the center. So that test is the precise as well as accurate. And the C part, that is again, it is reliable but not valid. It is when we are doing repeatably, it is showing the same result, but it is not coming to the center. And D is again, it is a more valid and more reliable. How come? Because it is at the center, and if we are repeating it, that is more and more and again giving the same result. So that is how D would be more precise and more accurate. Okay. So components of validity. Here we will be discussing about the terms of sensitivity and specificity. So if we will be seeing about the left corner, so there would be test positive and test negative, and upper column disease present, disease absent. So A would be the test positive and disease present, means the person is having disease and test is also showing positive, means that is true positive. The another one is B, the person does not have any disease but the test is showing positive, so this is called false positive. In C, the test is showing negative but actually the person is having disease, so that is false negative. If the test is showing negative and the person is also not having the disease, that is D, means it is true negative. So A, B, C, D, these are the components. So you can see about these things, test measurement frequency and test result measurement scale, disease free, disease like test positive and test negative. So that is how. And here somehow diseased and the test is also showing positive, but here the test is showing this thing negative but the person is diseased. Here like the concept of this thing sensitivity, the test is showing negative like disease free and the person is also disease free negative, and here the test is showing positive the right side but the person is not having the disease. So that is how the concept. The sensitivity would be the ability of a test to detect the true positive. So the sensitivity would be true positive divided by out of disease positive. So that would be A upon A plus C, like true positive divided by true positive plus false negative. That would be your sensitivity. And specificity would be your true negative divided by disease negative, like it would be showing the correctly identifying those who do not have the disease. So that would be your specificity. So if the person is not having the disease and test is also showing the negative, so that would be your true negative. So it is the ability to correctly those who do not have the disease. Okay. So the other word specificity measures the percentage of well people who are identified as not having the disease. The ideal test should have 100% sensitivity and 100% specificity. Okay. So this is how the concept of, like, if we are thinking about the concept, if the test has high sensitivity, that would be more test positive, more true positive and less false negative. Okay. If a test has high specificity, that would be more true negative and less false positive. Okay. So that is how this concept comes. Okay. So if we take the example of 1000 people and 100 have the disease, 900 do not have the disease. So screening test is used to identify the 100 people with the disease. Okay. The result of the screening pairs would be this table, like 80 divided by 100, that would be your sensitivity 80%, and true negative divided by 900, like 800, that would be your specificity 89%. So concept of sensitivity and specificity, we can see the example of diabetes, like blood sugar. If we take if we see 20 diabetes, 20 non-diabetes. So if we think about the blood sugar, if the blood sugar is low, so non-diabetes, high the diabetes. So subjects are screening using fasting plasma glucose for the low cut point. Okay. If the cut point is low, it would be showing more diabetic person, like more positive person. So we'll be saying about the sensitivity. 17 divided by 20, that would be 85%, and 6 divided by 20, that would be 30%. So that is how with the low cut point. And if we take about the high cut point, so there would be true positive would be the less, like 5 it is coming. The sensitivity is 25% and specificity is 90%. In a typical population, there is no line separating the two groups and the subjects are mixed. We cannot, and there are no colors as well, okay, or no label. So a screening test using a high cut point will treat the bottom box as normal and will identify the 7 subjects above the line as having diabetes, okay. But a low cut point will result in identifying 31 subjects as having the disease. So that will be more. So different cut points yield different sensitivity and specificity. So cut point determines how many subjects will be considered as having the disease. So cut point identifies more true negative will also identify more false negative. The cut point that identifies more true positive will also identify more false positive. If the diagnostic or confirmatory test is expensive, okay, or invasive, so will be minimize false positive or use a cut point with high specificity, okay. If the penalty for missing case is high, example, the disease is fatal and treatment exists or disease is easily spread, then we will be maximizing the true positive, that is use a cut point with high sensitivity. So there would be balance, okay, severity of false positive against the false negative. So now the concept of predictive value or predictive accuracy of a screening test, okay. So predictive value actually reflects the diagnostic power of the test, okay. Predictive value depending upon the sensitivity, specificity and prevalence. So there would be positive predictive value and negative predictive value. Positive predictive value is also called as post test probability of a disease or precision rate, okay. It is the probability of a patient with positive test result has a disease, okay, and the proportion of patient with positive test result, like A upon A plus B, who has the disease, like true positive divided by the total test positive, okay, were correctly diagnosed. In other words, it is a percentage of diseased people among those who show positive results, okay, like true positive divided by total test positive, if I would say, okay. Like if I would say the positive predictive value of test is 50%, that means 50% probability a patient with positive test result has the disease. Like test is also showing the positive and the person is actually disease positive. So high positive predictive value indicates with a positive test and diagnostic power of screening test to correctly identify the disease. And negative predictive value, that is the proportion of patient who test negative or actually free of the disease, okay, like percentage of healthy people among those who show negative test result, that would be D upon this thing, C plus D. So that is how high negative predictive value means there will be high probability that a negative test rule out the disease, okay. So this is how it will come, D upon C plus D, like true negative divided by false negative plus true negative, that would be your negative predictive value. You can see about like A divided by A plus B, that would be your positive predictive value. D divided by C plus D, that would be your negative predictive value. A divided by A plus C, that would be your sensitivity, and D divided by B plus D, that would be your specificity. So this is how the test shows all people with positive results, that is your test positive A plus B, all people with negative results, that is your test negative, as the C plus D. That is how this shows, okay. So positive predictive value and negative predictive value. Now applying concept of predictive value for screening test, okay. Like example, in the population of 100,000 people, 100 have the disease, 900 do not have the disease, Okay, so screening test is used to identify the 100 people with the disease. The result of screening would be like this: 80 divided by 180 would be your positive predictive value, that is 44%, and 800 divided by 820 would be your negative predictive value, 98%. What is repeatability, reliability, reproducibility? That means the result of a test or measure are identical or closely similar this time. Okay, so there are different types of variation: intra-subject variation, intra-observer variation, and inter-observer variation. Okay, so intra-subject variation is a variation in the results of a test conducted over time on the same individual. Okay, and difference is due to the changes such as physiological, environmental occurring to that individual over that time period. That would be your intra-subject. Like for example, if I am checking the blood pressure, okay, blood pressure, intra-subject, if I am taking this 27-year-old female, that would be the change. The 62-year, like subjective change it is. And if I take 33-year-old male, that would be a changes. Okay, that would be your intra subject. Now observer and intra-observer. Inter-observer is a result of a test due to multiple observer. Okay, like inter means between. Intra-observer is a result of a test due to the same observer. Like I am taking, the same person is taking the same subject, but the time is different, conditions is different. That would be your intra-observer variation. So this is how these terms come: agree or disagree when interpreting the same test results. So example of intra-observer is two readings of blood pressure measurement. Okay, like intra-observer and inter-observer, if I am seeing the x-ray of another person and another doctor is seeing, that is your chest x-ray filmed by different radiologists. Okay, these are my references, you can go through it, and all the very best. Like, share and subscribe. Thank you. This is Dr. Daljit Kaur.